Alright, one more time. Hi everyone and welcome to another Mighty Ginkgo tutorial. My name is Zero and I'll be your instructor. This is going to be another one of our quick tutorials. Even though it really does deserve to be a full tutorial, I guess we're going to call it quick just to see if we can get through it. So, a topic that has been mostly requested was how to make the inside of your garment. When you design a Marvelous Designer, it only designs an front face. It doesn't give you a back face. That's why when we make clothes in Marvelous Designer, we have to do the flip so that we can have the back, because it doesn't do the whole back thing. I don't know why. I know there's a setting inside there that lets you do double face rendering, but when you do it, it doesn't, export out. So you're left with this inside being hollow. So how do we fix that? So there's a number of methods and another number of techniques of getting it done. What I'm going to teach you is kind of frowned upon amongst the professional and the prim, triangle conscious people. But hey, it gets the job done and it gives you a pretty neat result. So cringe away, people. I don't care. This is what works for me. So there are two popular techniques for getting the inside of your garment. Well, technically three. The first one, the one we're not going over, is the extrude and tuck. And it's basically what it sounds like. If you have a shirt, if you have a shirt or a skirt or something like that, you would select the edges, extrude it out, push it in, and then tuck it up. So that way when you cam around, you see inside face, and you didn't use a lot of triangles to create the inside of your garment. I never liked that method. So I didn't even bother studying it. When they told me about it, I was like, Okay, so what I like to do is the dupe and flip method. And that is taking a duplicate of the item that you want flipped, the duplicate of your garment that doesn't have an inside, flip in the normals, and then you get an inside of it. There's a lot of plus and negatives to this. The plus side is, one, you got the inside of your garment. That's the main thing. Secondary, you have another copy of your garment inside of it, so you can texture it and give yourself lining. So let's say if you made this jacket, for example, and you have it black and you want a red inside, or you want to texture it and make smiley faces or hearts or something like that, like a pattern lining for your garment. That's a plus of it. And all around, the second is just super easy. The downside of it is you're technically wearing two copies of your garment, which is where those triangle Nazis come in there about it's very inefficient to have a flip of something else when you can do blah blah blah. I usually fade out around the time when they start explaining the better method. So I'm going to show you that one, and then the second one we have is the Solidify modifier, which is basically using the Solidify modifier to make your garment thicker, and it pushes it out on all angles, and pretty much it's the same thing as the flip and dupe without the flipping and duping. The downside to that is you can't really texture the inside like you would the flip and dupe. Would you stop laughing at that? Well, what else would I call it? Anyway, the Solidify doesn't allow you to texture the inside like the flip and dupe. You have to select the inside faces and then unwrap it if you want, because otherwise it just takes the same UVs as the jacket. So basically your jacket will match from the inside and the outside. So I'm not a big fan of the Solidify. I'm a flip and dupe girl. That sounds dirty, didn't it? She's a flip and dupe girl, that Zero. Anyway, so I'm going to show you those two methods, and we're going to see which one that you like, and then you just apply it to your project. So let's begin. So we're going to start with the Solidify. We'll start with the bad one, then we're going to end with the good one. So let's start with the Solidify. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to check this box that says back face culling, and this will allow you to view your garment like Second Life would view it. So with it off, you see we have a collar and stuff here, and you can already tell by the way it's shaded right here that there's no faces here. So this is like a negative space because it's darker. So we're going to hit the backface culling, and you'll be able to see this is how the jacket looks. So I'm going to make a copy of it. Let's see. This is the whole garment. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go into edit mode, and we're going to separate the jacket from the shirt. So in edit mode, press tab. Then we're going to press L, hover our cursor over the jacket and press L, and that selects it. And we're going to press P, and we're going to do the selection, separate by selection. So now our shirt is here. We don't want to dupe or solidify the t-shirt because it doesn't need it. So yay, we actually think about saving stuff here. So you're going to select your coat, and you're going to press Shift D, and we're going to make a duplicate of it just because I want one for solidify and then one for the flip and dupe. So alright, so here's our solidify coat, and with the coat selected, we're going to go over to the modifier tab, press the wrench, and then you're going to add modifier, and we're going to hit no, not that one, above that, solidify. And when you see it, you see we get all those faces that were hit and they just popped into view, but it did come in a lot of thick, and that's kind of scary at first, but don't worry. Solidify makes everything thick. You just gotta lower the thickness. So I'm going to make this bigger so we can get a better view of it. So come down here to the solidify modifier, and you're going to see where it says thickness. Now, depending on whether you scroll it forward, you see it starts to puff out all gross that way, and if you put it to the left, you'll see it goes in and becomes thicker, but it also inverts, and that's no good. So what I like to do is just select the value, double click on the thickness, and it lets you input the value, and you put the best number of all time in there, 0, and hit OK. And that'll give you a perfect, even, like, super thickness, and allows you to do this. Like, you know, it's not gross like it was when it was at 100. Now, this is the part that's kind of confusing, because I've had results either way. The problem with the solidify is that when you have it active like this, and you try to bake, it's going to bake, and it's going to bake black. I don't know why it does that. Somebody explained it to me, but I was fading out halfway during the explanation. I was like, So, kind of like you're doing right now with this video. So, one thing we did come to an agreement on is that you have to either bake your texture for your garment before you apply the solidify, or you bake first, then you use the solidify modifier, and that gives you your texture, or you hit apply and then bake your texture. We're not 100% sure, because I was like, forget it, I'm going with the dupe and flip, and I never looked back. So you'll have to experiment with the solidify modifier and see which one works for you. Just make sure you save before you do it, in case you mess up and you can just like revert. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the star. Let's get this solidified jacket out of here. We're going to do the old dupe and flip. Oh yeah, the flip and dupe. Sorry. The flip and dupe. And it is exactly what it sounds like. So as you see here, we have our untouched garment, and it is hollow on the inside. So we're going to click on it, and then we're going to press Shift D and make a dupe. And you see we have the duplicate here, and you just right click to snap it back into place. With the garment still highlighted, you're going to press M and send it to another layer. So we're going to navigate over there to that layer where we have it. We're going to go into edit mode by pressing tab. Then we're going to press A and select it all. Then you're going to press W, and then you're going to press this I was going to say button, or remember box, but it's neither. You're going to get this menu, special menu pop up, and we're going to press flip normals. And now we have an inverted copy of your garment. So all the negative stuff is forward, and all the other stuff is back. So we have it all here as well. So now when we combine the two, you get Captain Planet. Well, no, I'm sorry, it's an old joke. So when you combine the two, you have the front and the back. Now, I don't necessarily combine them, like, select all and then press join. I like to leave them separate, because when you import it in World, they'll come in as two pieces. And then you can put scripts inside the interior one, inside the flipped one, this one, the negative one, And you can add scripts and textures to that one so that people can customize the inside of their jacket, and it's not just one object. So that's why I'm fond of the flip and dupe over the Solidify, because I feel like it gives you more wiggle room as a creator. So that is how you create the inside of your garment. Hope this helped you. And now you can have special designer lining to all your garments, which is all the rage these days, and become more of a professional designer. Oh, wow, 10 minutes. That's kind of over quick. Well, that's quick for us. So, did it help? Did you enjoy it? Got questions, comments, and concerns? Please post them in the comment box, and I'll help you out if I can. Good luck, you guys, and see you in our next video.